Hi. Right, I'm in the shed, currently enjoying the beautiful July weather that we're having at the moment. Look at this, absolutely lovely. Everything covered in rain. But I thought I'd use this opportunity to do a video on my shed space. A little bit behind the curve on this, although a lot of people have done this. You know, I hadn't started doing these no edit 10-minute videos till a little while ago, so I thought I'd catch up on that trend and just get the shed thing out of the way. So in here now, let's spin you around if I can. How do I do that? How do I spin you around? Can't do it like that. How do I spin you around? Right, I turn you off and restart you. That's how I spin you around. Anyway, right, so, yeah, so if I come out, just show you, right, so I'm out in the rain now, not very nice. This is the shed. It's quite a big shed. That's the house just over there, so it's a very short walk from the house over to the shed. Come in the shed where it's like a bit less wet. Right, so this side, so as you come into the shed, the right hand side is all shed shit, right, that everyone has in a normal shed. We've got, like, you know, there's tools, there's all sorts of stuff, there's a pump, you know, there's a tool bench, there's some golf clubs over there which haven't seen the light of day probably, I reckon, for about 16 years. There's rackets, there's stuff that's quite interesting. That's the rotisserie thing that I got a little while ago, new one that goes on the Kamado, which is out there, which is yeah, very interesting. Anyway, that's all, like, you know, tools. That's also stuff for the barbecue. That's electrical stuff. That's decorating stuff. That is no, that is car stuff, I think. I don't know. Anyway, look, bikes. We've got one, two, I think there's 6 bikes here, I think. And, you know, what do you call it? Trikes, not, well, I can't think, for scooters, that's the word I'm thinking of. A load of boxes that I was like, oh, I'm going to use them, and they never go anywhere. Drills, paint, gardening stuff down here. More boxes, another scooter. Right, so this is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting, because you go, spirits, that's quite good. And then down here is lots and lots of boxes of stuff, so, you know, all tubing and stuff. There's stuff I tend to use quite a bit each time I brew. A lot of it doesn't actually get used, but I tend to put stuff in there that I use more often. That there is stuff that I tend to do when I'm kegging something. There's like the hose that gets the gas into the top of the fermenter. That there is what I usually put my grains into when I weigh them out. At the moment, it's got some what do you call it, those bottles in there, I can't think of their fucking names now. That stuff I haven't used in ages. Yeah, that's like a pH meter, never get it out. That's all stuff I use every time. That is all like water treatment and stuff like that. So that gets used a lot. Got some jugs down in here. Obviously that's an immersion chiller. Down in here, lots of bits of. Try to keep all the grains. There's some in there. Not many at the moment, so I'm running low. Right, heater. If I just open up to normal. So you usually sit up here. That's where the camera normally goes when I'm making the videos, and it's got, like, you know, some glasses and things on top here, some bits and bobs, like, oops, oh dear, nearly. These bits all sort of like what came with these, so we've got the couple of hand pulls here, and these are, they're the 360, pint 365, and these are bits that came with it that, again, I don't ever use, but they just stick up there. Normal freezer with food stuff, but there is down here, this one, there's hops and things in there. So one drawer is dedicated to hops. Let's keep going round. So this here, obviously, yeah, so I've got 2 hand pulls here that I do use, but I haven't really had very good beer out of them, to be honest. That beer is amazing, because that's the Imperial Stout, which is lovely. Couple of kegs down there, or 3 kegs actually. That one's got a different Imperial Stout. That one's got a normal stout. No, that's got porter. And that one at the back's the Imperial Stout, so that's quite good. There's the gas cylinders there. That one there is a mixed gas cylinder. I think it's empty, never really use it, I'm useless at it. That is for the Duo filler. That's what you use to fill up the cans that you then do the canning with. So the can seamer is down there at the moment. What else we've got up here? So these are the sort of some of the regs that I've got. So you have the main reg down here, right there, that fits onto the top of the gas. That then goes up here into the side there, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these sort of like intermediate regs or whatever you call them. So you can set the PSI for different kegs, however you want to do it. So set the PSI high in this one, so that's like 40 at the moment, and then on these individual ones, so you've got that at 15, they're normally around about 15-ish. This one's slightly higher, I think. So yeah, so that's all set for the kegs. Loads of glasses on top of this big fridge, which has got 2 taps in it. Up, there's some sort of commercial beers up top here. Some rubbish there, a couple of kegs there that feed into these taps here. Then to the side I've got another fridge with another 2 kegs in there, and that goes into this tower which feeds these 2. Here is like basically the brewing kitman. Oh sorry, up here that's the craft beer pie, which works well at the moment. Yeah, that feeds down, that feeds the plugs, that plug and the other grey plug to the side there. That's one of the kettles, that's the mash tun. They're all upside down because I brewed at the weekend, so I cleaned them out and they just sit upside down while they're sort of clearing out and that. Another kettle, that's the gas cylinder that I use when I'm kegging. So you put that orange thing that was in there goes in there. Tube comes up and it goes into the top here when you're kegging. So there's one of the fermenters that's got a lager in it, so it's sitting fairly low. Well, it's a bock actually, so it's sitting fairly low. There's the glycol chiller, so that's what these tubes are at the sides. The glycol goes in that side, around the jacket and out that side, so you can sort of chill down. Buckets, you know, a thingy tree, bottle tree, sort of bottles and toilet tissue. That's just soaking in there because it was well dirty. That's my old grain mill that I don't use now so much. I don't use it at all. And there's just, look, there's shit, loads and like 1, 2, so it's 4, but another 4 boxes, 5 boxes. There's one down there of crap there. Not crap, well it is crap to be honest. Here's the stuff that again I was using at the weekend, so it was just soaking in there for a bit. Cleans off, and there's the new grain meal crusher. That's an empty gas cylinder, and there's my second of my fermenters. So that, oh yeah, sorry, that's the when I collect the water RO system. So yeah, so what goes in, comes out, goes into a bucket, blah blah blah. I've got another sort of what do you call it? Oh God, my mind's going absolutely mad. Got another filter that I put through there, so it comes in, goes in that filter, then it sort of goes around these. That there tablet is just always connect that to measure the tilt. So inside here is a tilt, and that's just measuring that current beer. It's going very very slowly at the moment, so we'll have to ramp up a temp or something. So it's bubbling. There you go. Right, so that's the first part of this video. Second part is going to be me drinking a beer. Oh, by the way, this filler, I'll show you how to use that, and I'll show you how to use that in another video. So people have asked about that. So right, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go onto here, this one. I can't really do it when I'm holding this camera, and I'll put another camera up there, back onto where you usually are, and I'll pour a beer, and I'll be back in a sec. Right. So we're back on where you usually are. Hopefully sort of like gets you a bit of a perspective of where you are. So you're back on that corner of the freezer, top of the freezer there. So the reason I put you back on there, I've come in here as well to try a beer. This is the Belgian Double. It's really good. Very good. I carved it, and it wasn't quite carved enough for me. I think it still needs a tad more as well. The head doesn't hang around for very long, so I think it might need just a little bit more in there. Obviously it's very, very dark, you can see in there, can't see through that, so it's going to need some conditioning in the freezer for a while, in the keg for a while I should say. But in here is 5.5 kilos of Bohemian Pilsner, 500 grams of candy sugar, obviously that gets in the last 5 minutes of the boil, 400 grams of Special B, 250 grams of Carapils, and 100 grams of, oh yeah, Midnight Wheat. Why did I put Midnight Wheat in there? I can't remember. I think I needed something else, and I had to substitute it for Midnight Wheat, because I had Midnight Wheat instead. So that might be why it's a bit darker than maybe it should be, but anyway. So so that's what's in there. Hops was 45 grams of Hallertau Hersbrucker. It boiled for 70 minutes, so it was at 70 minutes, 45 grams of Hallertau Hersbrucker, and at 15 minutes 35 grams of Tettnang, and it was the yeast was Belgian Wit 2, which is White Labs WLP 410. It was very, very slow fermentation. Took about over 3 weeks, I think, to get to the final gravity, but it got there in the end, and it's ended up about 6.7%. So I'm quite happy with that. It tastes lovely. It's just, I've just got to get that carbonation right. Oh, pardon me. There we go. There's obviously something in there. Anyway. Tastes very good. I'm not going on about it. The video's probably too long already. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Enjoy yourself, everyone. Hope you like the look around the shed. You know what I have to put up here now, but to be honest, there's enough space in here, so I don't really mind. But anyway, cheers guys. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, and I'll see you again soon.